Shoot, there we go. Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that. Here we go. You should be able to hear me now. Shut up. This is when spirituality and the game combine. You go to Thinking Class. This is Lawrence C. Adams. We at the Thinking Class. Shout out to everybody that's listening. You should be able to hear me. It's funny you seeing the audio. I watched a streamer, I think yesterday or the day before, do a whole show, almost a whole show with no audio. And he was just talking away. He had slides. He was breaking stuff down. And what happened is he never paid attention to the chat room. They were saying, bro, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. And he was talking. He was going to town talking, and he never paid attention to the chat room. Streamers out there, if you streaming, pay attention to your chat room. They are the eyes and ears to help you do what you need to do. So pay attention to the streamers. Pay attention to those who stream. You stream and pay attention to those in your chat room. They are your they are your eyes and ears on the ground. Other thing, when I was saying, because I didn't realize my audio wasn't on, because I got to push the button. About speaking truth. So we're going to definitely talk about today. Man, speak your truth. Don't be emotional. If I tell you the stuff I see online, especially from man folks, I'm like, bruh, how you going to be a man speaking like this? But we're going to go right into it. We realize that it is imperative that men begin to speak their truth. But you have to see, I have the gavel on the screen is for a reason. We're going to get right into it. But I want you to get this. Men have to get back, get to know who they are, and embrace their truth so that they can speak their truth. You cannot speak your truth if you don't embrace your truth. So let me say that again. You cannot embrace your truth until you cannot speak your truth until you embrace your truth. The truth of where you are, good, bad, or indifferent, where you have see, this is the thing. The truth of what's going on, Jay. The truth of the matter is, sometimes our truths, before we can even speak it, is very uncomfortable to us. Sometimes the truth that we have about that we need to speak, we have not become comfortable with the truths about us that we don't want to deal with. Your flaws, your inadequacies, the things that you cannot do. You have to embrace the full truth of who you are, because ain't nobody got it 100% together. No one's here got it. You need other people. You don't have it all together. And what happens, in order to speak your truth, you got to embrace the fullness of who you are in totality. You got to face that you are not the perfect being. You have things that you need to work, especially men. You need to face the truth about who you are. Face the truth of your financial situation, your sexuality. Some men with their sexuality. Face the truth about what you like. You may not like slim girls. You might like them slim thick. You might like BBW. You might, whatever you may like, but you need to face the truth of who you are before you begin to speak your truth. And what happened is, because everybody wants to go with the herd and wants to be accepted, and everyone wants somebody to pat them on the back, we tend not to speak our truth. We tend to gloss over our truth because we want to speak our truth. Now that I made that point, let me say this. I was scrolling through the YouTube streets, and I seen, and I'm going to say it in such a way in case the person's listening, it is what it is. I seen an individual who had taken one of those pills called Red, and he felt the need to speak his truth to correct every woman around him. Let me say that again. I seen an individual who took one of those red pills. You know the red pills? And this is no indictment on the Red Pill brothers or anything like that. But he had taken one of the pills, and he was in a place where he felt it was his duty now as a man to correct every woman with his truth. You need to get in line. You need to obey me. I'm the man around here. You don't know what you're doing. And I watched the comments as this person went back and forth with individuals. And I'm thinking like, wow, is this really what a man does? Is this even in the terms masculine. And I watched this because he got a hold of some truth for us with red pill, awakening to true nature. What's going on, brother? Jay, what's going on? Wade, he got a hold of some red pill information, which was truth. And now he feels it is his duty to be the truth avenger and try to get every woman in line. Let me say it again. He felt it was his duty now to try to get get on streams and get on different comments to get every woman in line, because now he has red pill truth. You're not wise with it. And I've seen a lot of guys do this. I promise you, when the things go, the principle was like, when the teacher is ready, the student will appear. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Stop trying to get your truth. Let me say this again. Let me say this right. Stop trying to get people to accept the truth that they're not ready to receive. Stop trying to get people to accept your truth that they're not ready to receive. Appreciate that, Bagley. Good to see you, big bro. And I'm going to get to that part. I had to give a like for the title alone. Appreciate that. Let me say that again. Stop trying to give people your truth based on what you know. I see a lot of people in these spaces, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, this and that. Everybody want to tell their story about relationships. We are littered with people in spaces who want to just, I'm going to tell you the truth. Sometimes your truth, I don't want to hear. And the other side of it is, I do not even care. I promise you. So you got to start, you got to be wisdom. Wisdom always is coupled with truth. That's what most people miss it. And I'm going to get to the emotional part. Wisdom is always coupled with truth. You got to know when to speak your truth. You got to have wisdom. Some people don't want to hear your truth. They can care less. So what? They don't give a rat's behind about who you are or what you're saying. You got to know when. You got to know that some people don't want to hear your truth. The other side is this. I want you to get this, and I want to get this part, because this has happened to the individual I've seen in the particular comments. Just because you got some truth, man, is not your opportunity for you to get emotional. I didn't say not have emotions, but I'm saying no one get emotional. I know y'all all done seen many panels. You can see many people go back and forth, do all that stuff. And guess what? We're in the advent. A lot of men be emotional. You can have all the knowledge, but if you don't have wisdom, that's true. Let me say that again. You can have the truth, but your emotional delivery can mess up what you're trying to say. Let me say that again. You can have the truth on the matter, but your emotional response to it jacks it up on so many levels. I promise you, I've seen it. I watch it. I study this. I watch what comments. When people make comments, they're in their emotions. They're in their emotions because I got to tell them what it is. I got to get them straight. They don't know what they're talking about. You'll notice when people do that, you'll notice a certain track record on how they move. We have a lot of men. You may know the truth, so you think, but your truth has not translated into your emotions. Uh-oh. Let me give a clap. Let me give a clap. Wisdom is what makes the game smooth, right? Watch Red Pill amplifies that and makes it obvious. Oh boy, does it come out. Yeah, watch that. I'm telling you. You may have the truth, like, man, it's the truth, this is how it is, but the truth has not got to your emotions, and now you very emotional. Y'all, man, y'all don't want this, man. Y'all don't want this. Y'all want somebody to patty cake and rub you. No, you become emotional because, and you try to masquerade it under the whole guidance and that you being passionate. I'm not saying not having emotions, and I'm not saying be where you just a robot, but you try to hide it that you being impassionate. But reality of it is you are in your feelings, nothing but feeling. You being emotional because the truth that you know. Some people got so much truth in their head that they constipate in their head, but the truth has never, ever gotten to their emotional state. What's going on, LAD? What's going on, Trav? Good to see you, bro. Red pill isn't a path to be emotional. Thank you. Thank you. I've seen so many dudes get the red pill. They turn into hyenas. They get all riled up. I'm here to tell you, brother. I'm here to tell you, you cannot, your truth must get to your emotional self. I just seen it just today. I was scrolling, I'm looking through and I'm watching the comments. And what's interesting is, because I don't want to say what I was looking at, who was not being emotional about the comments was the woman. Let me say it again. Who was not being emotional in the comments responding to this gentleman who got red pill knowledge was not the woman. Reacting emotion never ends well, correct? Let me say that again. Who was calm and collect with her comments was the woman. Interesting. You would think it would have been the opposite way. But when you're trying to get truth to try to check somebody because you're emotional, that's where the problem goes wrong, especially with some of these YouTubians and some of these red pillars and this pillar and that pillar. And trust me, brother, I ain't trying to come against nobody. I understand red pill. I can teach red pill all day. But at the same token, a lot of people get very emotional. And I'm not saying, I want to make sure it's very clear. I ain't talking about not saying that you don't express your emotions. And I'm not saying that you're not attached, but the biggest thing is when you always want to pop off real quick. I want to ask what is your pathology to get to that point to act like that? Thank you. Emotional reacting instead of mentally responding. Very good point. I like that. I want to know, what is your pathology that you feel that you need to respond emotionally to someone who does not agree with you? And we were to study the pathology to that. How you got there. Most likely you learned it from somebody. Tell me in the chat room. Please, somebody tell me, where did you learn that pathology at? Somebody put it in the chat room. Where did these men learn to respond like that? What was the pathology that led them to respond like that? Where did they get that from? Somebody put that in the chat room. Where did these men who may speak the truth but are emotional, but they're responding like what? Where did that pathology come from? If we were to trace it back and do a research on it, if we were to check somebody didn't put it in there. Somebody didn't put it in there. Where did they get this from? Even though they have the truth, they're responding in their emotions. And what happens is what? There's a pathology that led to that. Mama, people around them. And even emotional men. If you ever watch, I love watching The Godfather. I watch it. I love watching. I like watching the outtake. I like watching the breakdowns of The Godfather. One of the things that Don Corleone taught Michael Corleone when they're in meetings, never let them, so many words, see you sweat. Be as if nothing is going on. And what I realized is that a lot of men have never been taught how to move in this world, and especially move with women in a way where they are not moved by their emotions, by every win, by every thing that's being said. They're not responding. They know how to move in such a way that they're like on the sea of life. Even though the sea of life is going up and down, their sails are still pushing them to the right direction. And I realized what seeing this man respond today, even though he has the red pill truth, his red pill truth has not graduated into his emotions. And it's a sad case of scenario. Let me take this a little further. So when you speak your truth, are you speaking your truth from a place of saying, oh, I'm being passionate about it. I got to tell the people, you got to know, people got to hear this. I ain't playing with nobody. Or are you saying it from a place of calmness, almost reservedness, and really realizing that everyone can't receive this? So many times when people speak their truth, and I want you to get this, when men begin to speak their truth, you got to understand, you cannot get emotional when they get emotional. You know what I'm about to go do? I'm going to get my water. I don't know why I didn't bring no water out. I'm going to get it now. You cannot get emotional when they get emotional about you speaking your truth. Let me say that again. You cannot get caught up in your emotions. You didn't spoke your truth, but you can get emotional because they got emotional from you speaking your truth. You have to expect that it's going to stir something inside of them. You got to expect that only hit dogs holler. And you got to be careful, especially on this day and age with this whole social media thing. Because we have this whole, and I'm going to say this is why I got the gavel on there. I'm going to say this right quick. Y'all need to catch this. Everybody wants to say they got freedom of speech. I'm speaking my truth. I'm going to say what I want to say. Freedom of speech only applies to the government. Be careful who you speaking against, that you don't end up in trouble. Sometimes you speaking your truth can lead you to a place you don't want to go. So let me gather this again. You cannot get emotional charged because someone else got emotionally charged by you speaking your truth. It is so imperative that men begin to speak their truths. Do you understand the safety that's there when men begin to speak their truth and begin to tell it like it is? Begin to be honest with themselves and begin to be honest with those people around them. What happens? What's going on, Joe Blast? What happens when a man begins to step up and begin to speak his truth? Everybody's not going to hear it. Everybody's not going to accept it. Everybody's not going to agree. But when you begin to speak your truth, something interesting happens. Forcing your reality on others equals projecting. That's good right there. Forcing your reality on others equals projecting. And many times people try to force their reality of how they see things on others. See, this is the thing. When you begin to stand on truth and begin to speak your truth, you're not intimidated by what others say or what they may do and how they may move. Like, oh, okay. Because now you get to see another side of the what? You get to see another side that maybe you didn't see. We have a hard time when we think we speak in our truth for somebody else to come along and say, hey, did you look at it this way? You know why? Because our egos are attached to the truth. That's why people have a hard time talking about religion, politics, sex, and relationship. because their egos are attached to it. And so when you begin to speak your truth, when you speak your truth, it feels like you are attacking their ego when you're just speaking the truth. But because of the attachment to whatever's being said, they can't handle the truth. That means their ego say, no, this is not good because this is going against the comfort zone of what we think is right and what's going on. So I challenge every man, especially when you're dealing with yourself and you're dealing with other men. You got to learn how to speak. I'm going to tell you something. Let's be very clear. I wasn't the one who would be very clear. I wasn't the one who always, let me clean this bothering me and put this up. I wasn't the one who always told the truth. Something's on my lens. It's bothering me. I really didn't do that now. I wasn't a man. I didn't tell the truth. I was more concerned about if I was going to hurt somebody's feeling, or I was more concerned, and I bet not do that. I kowtowed down because I didn't want to speak the truth. I don't want to tell my truth because I didn't want to offend anybody. I didn't want nobody to think, who are you? And I realized, man, I'm just be very clear. When I did that, I felt worse because I didn't tell my truth about what I thought about that. I did it, man. I'm guilty. And it wasn't so much to trying to hurt somebody's feelings or whatever. I just didn't stand up on my 2 feet and just let me to say, hey, this is what it is. This is what I think. This is how I perceive in this. And every time I did that, let me tell you what happened. Every time I did that, this is what happened. I began to beat myself up even more and more. And I begin to mistrust me. I don't care. They can pretend. You can pretend all you want on these YouTube streets that you've been all this way, all this time. I've been telling the truth. It's been times where I know I did not speak my truth, and I regretted that I didn't step up and say, hey, this is what it is. Y'all can pretend all you want. You can come on these streets. You can come and post. You can do whatever you want. Stop pretending. There's been times where I know I responded emotionally when I should have just been calm, cool, and collect. There's been times where I know I should have just said, yo, man, that ain't cool. It was eating up, dude, right, man. See, man, it was eating up at me so bad. I couldn't even sleep. Because I know if I would have said something or step up and told my truth, things would have been completely different. But I didn't speak my truth. Man, been there too many times, Lord, make perfect sense. I promise you. So when I'm talking about speaking your truth, I'm talking from a place that's personal, deep inside of me, where I didn't do it. Situations in the church, outside of the church, business, family, jobs, children, things that I did not step up and speak my truth. And I had to eat those words. The truth was still standing, knocking at my door, not from the outside, but from the inside out, because I didn't speak my truth. I didn't stand up and say, no. If anybody know me, I do not like eggs. Don't cook no scrambled eggs. Don't bring no eggs in my house, because I didn't speak my truth. And every time I did that, I began to not shrink physically, but I began to shrink inwardly as a man. So much so because I didn't speak my truth, the voice of my truth began to become lesson and lesson and lesson to almost become a what? It became almost like a whisper inside of me. Almost like giving fake laughs and doesn't feel right to your body. Yeah. Dude, y'all can pretend on these YouTube streets all you want. I don't got time to pretend. Too old for that. Ben did that, whatever the case may be. And I found myself just shrinking on the inside, and the truth that I know that was right for me, it became like I became almost invisible. Like what I thought didn't even matter, because I was going with the herd. I was going with everybody thought, and I did not speak my truth. My truth was not designed to hurt anybody, but I didn't speak up and say, hey, this is what it is. I don't agree with that. I don't like this. I agree with this. And I didn't speak my truth. And what happens is I begin to slowly begin to shrink inside, mentally, spiritually. And then on top of that, anytime I would deal with a woman, because I got to talk with women, because y'all want to hear something about women. Every time I deal with a woman, she would pick up that you won't speak your truth. And guess what happened is, because people are mirrors to you, she began to treat me how I treated myself. Was I began to dwarf myself on the inside because I was not speaking my truth. Let me say that again. I began to dwarf myself on the inside because I did not speak my truth. I began to kowtow. I began to play. No, you know what? It ain't that bad. It was bad. What's going on? What's going on? When we didn't speak our truth, we still hurt others too. Right. Got to be honest about that. Too many guys lose in this cycle. I'm telling you, what's going on, Fierce Soul? I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, I begin to do that, and what happens is, then you wonder why nobody respects you, nobody can trust you, because I didn't speak my truth. That sugar high tease is dangerous. It turns you into a self-made puppet to the point where you don't even know what the truth is. Right? The truth in you, your truth begins to shrink inside of you. I remember, like I told you many times, but Jono was listening. He'll probably pop up, whatever the case may be. I remember telling Jono, man, I was walking to go to the Minuteman to go find a job, and I was in the middle of the night, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. John was like, dude, you got to find your truth. And I was like, man, I don't even know what my truth is. I got a computer bag with a computer on there, and then I think after that I got robbed, and I was like, man, where is my truth? It was only when I began to slow down. I began to slow down and say, wait. I have been neglecting all these years and trying to please and make everyone else happy, make everybody feel like they special, that I forgot how to make myself feel special and begin to tell my own truth. Dealing with people you really don't even want to deal with. Right. Hanging with places you don't want to go. Somebody, what's going on, what's going on, True Savage? I promise you, man. Promise you. Most guys on these YouTube streets, content creators and listeners, have not been telling the truth about who they are. They're in relationships, they're dealing with people because they have shrunk so much, they have dwarfed inside so much that they're not speaking their truth. And what happens is, you think you are in the graduate level program, but you're really just learning how to speak and color and write because you don't even know your alphabets when it comes to your truth. I literally just tapped in. Wow, good to see you, brother. This give me flashbacks. Yeah, to the point where you becomes a habit where you cannot speak your truth. And how in the heaven you're going to speak the truth to a woman or to a situation, to anything around you, when you have not learned to accept your own truth? I've been there. I'm talking from a place, not from I read in the book or what somebody whispered in my ear. I'm talking from a deep place, a dark place that I was in. No matter how much game there was, no matter how much if you're not embracing your truth as a man, let me say that, as a man, you fooling everybody. You a phony. You're fake. You a poser. You think you tricking out there. You tricking your own self because you will not take the time to grab a hold of the truth of who you are. How many people are watching, especially the men, have been watching that? Put it 3 in the chat room if that has been you, where you've been in a place where you know you didn't embrace your truth. Put it 3 in the chat room. You know you have been in a place where you did not speak your truth because you looked at their faces. You were ashamed of what you thought. You were ashamed of where you've been at. How many of you been, put a 3 in the chat, but you've been there where like, yo, man, I know I should have said something. I know that, oh man, I didn't speak my truth. if that's being you, you know, no matter how much game and how much this is bigger than trying to get laid and trying to get off. No, no, no. When you embrace who you are, your truth in the core being, and this is the thing, your truth doesn't have to look like everyone else's. Your truth doesn't have to be like that's the thing. You need to, most men are trying to be copycats instead of being the original that they are. I'm saying something that I've been at. I'm saying something that I had to struggle. It wasn't a struggle. You're struggling with God. No, I was struggling with the truth of who I am. Because I've been told, no, you can't be like that. You shouldn't dress like that. You shouldn't be this way. You shouldn't do this. This the way everybody else is going. And what happens is everyone's trying to squish you back into their box of you instead of you being the truth of who you are. I don't think it's a coincidence OGs on YouTube's been hit on being authentic and real. Woo, boy, man. You know why we're seeing that? Because we're seeing so many of the younger YouTubians and young men coming along who we know they are fronting. We know they ain't speaking, being their authentic self. They're doing it for likes. They're doing it for the gram. They're doing it for the YouTube. They're doing it and not being themselves, but behind closed doors, they're struggling. We were talking about struggle streamers, but they're struggling. Because the reality of it is they have not embraced the truth of who they are. And therefore, you can never, ever, ever truly speak your truth. There's power in you being, let me get this out because this hit me. There's power when you are your authentic and real self. Let me say that again. There's power when you are your true authentic self. It's like all the stars inside of you begin to align. It's like Power Ranger. It's like Wonder. I'm from the 70s. It's like Wonder to empower, activate. Everything begins to activate inside of you when you become your authentic and true self. Some of you are your battery is you're plugged in, but you're not at your full level of who you can be because you're not being your authentic self. You're not being truthful to you, and therefore you're not speaking your truth. Let me say that again. So many men think they're connected to the source and not realizing that their battery's on low and it's only at 20% because they're not being their authentic self. They're not being honest with themselves. Let me say this because just be very clear. Every guy don't like the same type of woman. Y'all let me say it because I got to say it in them kind of terms for everybody to get it. Everybody don't like the same type of woman who look the Instagram model. Some of them are they're just eye candy and that's it. And we can be honest about that. There is some women that, you know what, I just don't, nah, dog, I ain't gonna be able to deal with it. I don't care how good she looks. The whole universe helps you when you are truthful with yourself. Oh, I love that. You need to be honest. Every guy don't like the same type of woman. If you can embrace just that truth, it's trying to instead of trying to get a woman that your friends are like, there you go. Shout out to Keenan. Thank you so much. Blowing some stink on that. I appreciate that, Keenan, for the Cash App. So if you were to really embrace the truth of who you are, who you want to be with, who this man, true savage man, you really, let me say this. If you can really embrace who you are and who you like, baby, I'm here to tell you it would change everything. To keep it one, I'm not here. I'm not where I want to be at yet, but I'm proud of staying down through the bull to get where I'm at mentally and physically now. I shout out to you, brother. Can you do next week on authenticity? Yes, I can. That Clove Talk, yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Some are just hollow like chocolate Easter bunnies. Bruh, you have no clue, right? And so they get up here, they prop themselves, and the reality of it is, man, When you don't embrace the truth of who you are a miserable man. You're a miserable man. A miserable man. And then you try to get a woman to make you feel better. And now I can get on the women too, because a lot of women have not been truthful about who they are. Or I can switch this real quick. So why you think I get on men? This is the thinking class, but the same token, there's real women who've not been authentically who they are. We all send representatives when we go meet someone and we deal with people. But who are you for real? Like my grandmother asked, who your daddy? Who your mama? Where you from? What street you live on? Who your auntie? They wanted to know who you were, where you came from, because it said a lot of what you were going to say and what you were going to do. You need to embrace, and then y'all got me on the roll now. Then once you can grab a hold of the truth of who you are. You got to realize that truth may only be for a season of who you are. Let me say that again. You and grab the hold of the truth of who you are. You ain't grab the hold that just authentically you, but you have to grab a hold that your truth is ever evolving to the new version of who you are. Now we get into 2024. Now your truth can be for a season, but it doesn't mean that truth has to be for the rest of your life. There's some truths that are just foundationally who you are. But there's some truths as you begin to evolve mentally, spiritually, you realize that, wait a minute, and physically, that truth that I had when I was 20 is not the truth that I have when I'm 40, 50, 60, 80 years old. Woo, man. Nothing truthful about who they are is equivalent to not trusting the process. God is tried. Gold is tried in the fire, and on that day you will shine like pure gold. Amen. Some truth lasts half an hour before the next shift. Man, that's good. So you got to realize that your truth, how can I say it? Your evolution of who you are begins to unfold different truths about you. So what was good for this hour may not be the truth that's going to unfold for the next hour. And so what happens is you got to be able to be adaptable, being able really to change that. I'm authentically changing into a better version of to myself. What's going on, Shane? Man, good to see you, brother. Good to see you, Shane. And so what happens is when you begin to do that, the world begins to catch what I'm saying. What's going on? What's going on, Alfred? The world begins to shift around you when you embrace the truth of who you are. Do you hear what I'm saying? When you begin to embrace the truth of who you are, it changes everything. Some people need to embrace the truth. Can I say this? Can I say this, Joe Blaz? Let me know, Joe Blaz, so I can say what I'm going to say this. I'm going to say something I'm going to have to say it. Joe Blaz, let me know in the chat room if I can say this, bro. Let me know in the chat room, bro, if I can say this. I'm waiting on Joe Blaz to give me the okay, the enforcer to give me the okay to say, can I say this one? What's going on, Sharice? Good to see you. Good to see you, homegirl. Let me say this. By all means, let me say this. Some people need to embrace the truth that they're just haters. Stop pretending like you ain't a hater and you know that's the truth of who you are. Some people are just haters. Some people need to embrace that they are just, stop pretending like you ain't a hater. Everything somebody does, you got something slick to say. Every time they do something, oh, you did that for real? You in here? Okay. You need to embrace that you are just a hater. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Face the truth that you are just a hater. You jealous, you envious, you can't stand for nobody to do better than you. You always looking a way to tear you down. You just who you are. Embrace the truth that you a hater. I wish people would embrace the truth of who they are and stop trying to pretend and try to sugarcoat it with a backhand compliment. How you doing? Oh, that's a new hat. Oh, where'd you get that from? The Goodwill? Just embrace the truth that you are a hater. Life will go so much smoother. Maybe you will come to the fact you stop hating on people and find out why you really hating on people. Embrace the truth that the reason why you keep saying, I just don't get along with a lot of people, because maybe the truth of the matter is no one can get along with you. Just embrace the truth. I wish people would embrace the truth of that and begin to become the authentically who they are. Let me say something to someone. Let me grab this. Let me say this. Let me say this. When you embrace the truth of who you are, and when you embrace how authentically you are, you have no problem when someone else who is walking in their truth and be unauthentic. Let me say that again. When you begin to embrace the truth of who you are, and you are in your authentic self, you are not intimidated by anyone else who's walking in their authentic self and who are walking in the truth. You begin to celebrate them. Oh man, do your thing, man. Go ahead. I look good. Why? Because it doesn't take any skin off your back or off your teeth, as it would say. It doesn't affect you any kind of way, because you being you. You in your own world. Woo, boy. Oh, I agree. I go against what I don't like. But even enemies can show respect. No harm, no foul. All authentic. Right. I promise you. When you begin, so I want to make sure we show this. So you see, I got the shirt right there, but I want to make sure you see the LDA got the shirt on. Don't get mad. Just leave. Don't get mad. Just leave. But I want to make sure you understand that you have no problem embracing somebody else being their authentic self, embracing what they're doing. You got to even be okay that some people are just authentically haters, authentically just crap starters. You have to be okay that some people are just crap starters. They like to stir the pot. And I'm guilty. I love to stir the pot on Facebook. I like to get the conversation going. I'll get the party started, then I'll walk away. But you got to be okay with that. You know what? Ooh, cool. I'm telling you, it will free you up. What's going on, Lawrence? Good to see you, bro. You got to be okay with your truth. You got to be okay. You have to be okay with other people's truth. I promise you. Somebody got a liar and a hater staring back as their reflection. Correct. I promise you. When I began the real freedom was when I realized people are going to do what the heaven they're going to do. I said, you know what? Okay, great. I don't even be bothered by it. But it's when you begin to embrace your truth, begin your authentic self. And this, because everybody wants some game. Let me throw some game. Women will respect you because you're honest with yourself and you upfront with them. Stop all this shucking and jabbing and what do you want to do? I got to throw some game in there for y'all, because y'all ain't going to be like, oh, okay, this is good there, but you getting them off. Women will respect you. People will respect you. Life will respect you when you just tell the truth and be honest about upfront. This is what it is. All that shucking and jabbing and guys like you know what I'm saying, man. When they say I ain't trying to say it like that, but I'm just putting it out there. When people start saying that, they shucking and jiving, man. Just hit me with your truth. Tell me what it is. People will respect you. They may not like you, but they will respect you that you told the truth because you know your truth. But all that shucking and jiving and getting emotional and you feeling some kind of way, you know. It's a limit of being the villain in others' eyes, but freedom is the reward. Correct. It shows in your body language. Yeah, that's good. People be like, yeah, man, I ain't trying to hurt you. I ain't trying to say it a kind of way, but I'm just saying, bro, when you hear all that shucking and jiving, I call it shucking and jiving and all that, hand play, and they doing all this. They want to, yo, man, just tell me what it is, bro. Woo. Look at this right here. I always get attacked by people because I have my own opinion. Oh, well, I just ignore and leave the scene most of the time. Right. Sometimes what does my shirt? I'm gonna say what my shirt says. Take this off. What do my shirt say? My shirt says, for my grandfather, don't get mad, just leave. What did my grandfather say to? Don't get mad, just leave. That's all my grandfather would say. Don't get mad. Don't get upset. Don't get in your emotions. I got to prove that you right or wrong. I got to tell you, just don't get mad. Just leave. Oh boy, right. When they hit you with the, I love you, right? Oh my God, that's a classic one right there. Let me say this. That's you, man. Yo, bro. I love you, right? I really ain't trying to hurt, trying to play you out like that, bro. But let me break something down to you. When you hear, what had happened was, bro. Yeah. Man. I'm in your corner, man. I ain't trying to. Now let me say that. Even though they may say that. Many times when you tell your truth or you're trying to tell the truth with somebody, you always gotta think about the person who receiving it. Let me say that again. You may need to tell the truth, and sometimes the direct way is the right way, but you got to know how to present the truth in the correct way. Because you may be like, yeah, you may have to do, yo, man, let me holler at you for a minute. You have to become a master wordsmith when it comes to telling your truth. Pay attention to it, please, right there. Pay attention to that. You have to become a master wordsmith, and men need to really get this. Oh yeah, don't you? You don't love it when they say they love you, fooling with him. Yeah, yep. So you got to become a master wordsmith when it comes to sharing your truth. You got to know the other party and where they're at. You got to know their emotional levels. You got to know what they're going through. You need to tell the truth. You need to tell the truth. You got to tell them, but you got to be strategic. GAME. What I call that? Game. Y'all think game is just getting women and I'm gonna get this game. No, you have to be strategic in how you deal with telling your truth. Sometimes you have to tell the truth. Pay attention. Yeah, see what happened was? Pay attention when I'm about to get this. Sometimes you have to tell your truth inside of a story. I think it was Nathan and David in the Bible. Instead of coming to the king because he realized that he was the king. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. You must have some emotional intelligence. Instead of coming to it because he didn't want to get, he didn't want to get hurt up, beat up. He came to David the king and King David, man, bruh. I got the story I gotta tell you, man. Man, this, it was this fire in this house, bro. You know what I'm saying? This fire was just going, and and owner of the house, and he told the story. And finally, David said, "Man, if I was me, I would go do something about it." He said, "You the man." David broke down, cried, got into sackcloth, and man was like, oh my God. He started crying like a big baby. It's all in how you present it to. Tactful. Thank you so much. So when I think it was Prophet Nathan, when he came to him, like, yo, man, he presented it in a story. You got to know who you presented the truth, because at any time David was like, yo, man, get out of here. Especially you exposing what I did. Because I was cheating with Bathsheba. I seen her washing up. I was like, ooh, oh, look at her. He had the Birdman hands. He was like, look at Bathsheba. Yeah. Where her husband at? Oh, he in the war. He fighting. No, he fight right now. Give him a note and put him on the front line. Put him on the front line. Yeah, boss, put him on the front line. Put him on the front line. Put him on the front line. Of course, he's going to get killed. So David can be at home instead of being at war. He should have been watching. He was up there watching Bathsheba, watching her wash up with the water glistening on her body. So when the truth had to be presented to him, he couldn't come to him directly. Yo, man, what you did was wrong. No, he had to present it to him in a story. And he had to see himself in the story. Catch that. Some people ain't going to get it directly. You have to realize, what cards should I need to pull out so I can get the truth to them to share it with them. And what happened with David, it was the story, and he broke down and cried. He was man. Oh my God, my son calling. He started crying like a baby. It's my son calling. He had to realize he was crying like a baby. He's like, oh my God, man, I can't believe this. Who would do that, man? Why? Why would you do that to somebody, man? Why would you do that to somebody, man? That ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right. The reality of it is, sometimes the truth has to meet you where you are at. Let me say that again. Sometimes the truth has to meet you where you are at. I challenge you, especially the men and the women who are watching, don't be ashamed of your truth. Begin to embrace the truth of who you are. Begin to walk in your truth. Begin to open up and allow your truth to be seen. I promise you, it will change your life. You said that, baby. So you want to come up? I'm going to open up the stream. If you want to come up, you're welcome to come up. You're welcome to come up. You come up here talking crazy, do anything else. This is going to be the last time you do this. Let me get this one thing I haven't did in a long time so everybody know why we're here. The Thinking Class, we bring together 4 thinking, spiritually conscious individuals to learn, share, grow, and reframe our mindsets. We push to reach our maximum potential on all levels so that we can unlock the new spiritual and practical paths to strengthen the relationship that matters the most and usher in a new era of intellectual and behavior mastery. That's what the Thinking Class. If you want to come up, you want to share, please. I'm telling you, act right. I promise you. I'm seeing too much. There's the link. If you want to come up, you're on Facebook, Instagram, you can call in. I will definitely bring you through. And we can definitely chop it up right quick. So if you want to definitely come up, this is your opportunity. I want to bring that up in the Thinking Class. We bring together forward-thinking, spiritual and spiritually conscious individuals to learn, share, grow, reframe our mindsets. We push to reach our maximum potential on all levels so that we can unlock new spiritual and practical paths to strengthen the relationship that matters the most and usher in a new era of intellectual and behavior mastery. This is why we have the Thinking Class. Also, too, we will be, once I see how the shirt has come, I will be doing, I may put them up for sale, but I may do a giveaway first. Let me know in the chat when you want to do a giveaway, or I may put them up for sale. The Thinking Class, this is the Don't Get Mad, Just Leave shirt by my grandfather, Jonas McCall, Papa, I call him. If you would like to get one of these shirts, see how it fits and make your body look like you strong. You know, you want to get one of these shirts, hit me up. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to put it on another site, but I may do a giveaway, or I may just put it up for sale. But this shirt, it feels good, great material. I like the theme. It's approved by the family, so everything is good. But I want to make sure we probably talk about next week about being authentically who you are. Maybe we go into that. But if you like to come up, you got something you want to share right quick on what we talking about. Don't tell me about your mama and how she did it. Don't tell me how you was making cakes the other day and the pie fell down and you had to eat I gotta go. Please don't do that to me. Please don't do that. I don't want to hear it. No. Stick on the topic. If you want to come up, this is your opportunity to come up and share and on what we talked about. Nothing else. I make sure I had to put that clear. If not, I'm going to put this timer up because you know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to do. And once I put this up, but you know what music come up, that's it. You like to come up, I'm going to put the music on. Where's the music? Where is it at? Here we go. Let's see what we got there. Like to come up? Yes, Lawrence here. Get the lights up. Share. So we have that right there. Don't forget, the shirt will be available. I had to test it out first. I can't give out something I don't think it ain't LDA approved. See, I got to put the brim, got the beard going out, you know. Got to be fresh. Don't get mad, just leave. So definitely shout out to the thinking class. Shout out to you wonderful men, women who listen, those who in the clouds. I know a lot of people be in the clouds. They just don't say nothing. It's like, wondering what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it. You're welcome to come up and to share. Do not be talking no crazy. I don't care about no other content creator that's doing whatever they're doing. This is not to bash anybody because you think you're speaking whoa. Some people try to mask. Let me say this. Whoa. Don't try to come up here to mask your truth by try to masquerade you telling the truth by talking about somebody else. Let me say that again. I've seen that slick mess before. Don't come up here talking about you got to tell your truth and you low key trying to snitch or you in the low key trying to talk about somebody else. Let me say that again. Do not try to come up on these YouTube streets and try to masquerade. Yo, man, I got to tell my truth. And you low key trying to talk down about somebody else. That ain't your truth. That's your hurt. That's your feelings. Let me say that again. Don't come up here talking about I got to tell my truth, man. It happened, and you low key trying to talk about somebody. I've seen this happen too many times on these YouTube streets. Brothers are coming, man, I got to tell my truth, player. You know, when I did. Okay, you've been hurt by a girl, woman that hurt you. Okay, you this and that, bruh. Don't come up here. You want to come up? This is your opportunity. I want to see who you are. Don't come up and being. I got to say all this. Don't come up being naked. Don't be coming trying to do stuff like that. Don't have time for it. This is the thinking class. We think. We have emotional intelligence. But I'm here to tell you. The most important thing. Don't try to masquerade telling your truth to try to sugarcoat it so you can low key hate on somebody else. Man, I've seen that too. Man, you come correct, you know. But I will say this as we go into next week or talk about being authentic. You got to know what you got to shout out to the. Thank you so much, Wade, for the Cash App. Thank you so much for the Cash App to Wade. Appreciate that for the Cash App. Thank you so much. You'd like to come up, I'll give you the opportunity. I put the link in the bio. I put the link in the chat room. You want to come up, you want to share, please stay on topic. Shout out to the thinking class. You guys have been rocking since I think it's been about 2 years since we adjusted it to the thinking class. Shout out to Jono. It was his birthday, I think last week or the week before last. Make sure you say a holler to Jono. Shout out to Jono. It was his birthday. Oh, Keenan's coming. Thank you, Keenan, coming in. All right. Let's see. Here we go. All right, can we hear you? You there? All right, let me connect you to the board. 1 second. All right, can you hear?
Yeah. Awesome. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Go ahead, brother.
Nice. Listen, I wouldn't be authentic to what you were talking about if I didn't call in because this is on my spirit to actually say something. And I'm like, I don't want to call in. And I'm like, that goes against what he just talked about. I said,
Right.
let me just share this. Um, when you start to really embrace, really go on that road, 1%, 2%, 5%, 7%, 15%, you start to see all the things start to come together. And it don't matter how long you've been out here, how long logically you knew what you had to do. It's sometimes when you take that first step forward and you start to embrace things, and it's like it's not as scary as I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And the authenticity automatically, like you talked about earlier, is like I forgot actually how you put it, but the puzzles start to come together. It's like a whirlwind. It's like a bolt of electricity because you actually in what you're supposed to be in. And a lot of times the game doesn't work for you when you take advice outside of things, outside of your lane and outside of your tribe. And I remember at a time when I was listening to people, when I was going through certain things in life, and it wasn't working for me because the situations I put myself in, I had to get myself out of, but I wasn't following that trail. I was following other people's advices for things I didn't go through or things that I already went through that didn't phase me as it phased them. So sometimes you gotta realize the things that you don't like, things that you do like, your weaknesses, your strengths, and really be okay with that. I mean, really be okay with that. And then really work on it, but not use it as an excuse to be a victim to anything either. You know, that's just being real genuine, honest, because nobody likes a complainer. You know, we're all here to get better every day. Right. So that's just being genuine. You know, if you don't feel like getting up, say it. Oh man, I don't feel like getting up. But you gotta get up. That's the result of it.
Right.
You know, if you need we all need resources and food. Sometimes you don't feel like going down there to marinate the fish, the chickens, the seasoning. You don't feel like doing it, but when you do it and you get it over with and you're like, man, I'm glad I did that because this tastes so good. That's what it feels like when you're hitting genuine peaks. And you'll notice it when you walk through environments because people will tell you, they'll tell you without even speaking. Mm-hmm. And it's levels to it. It really is. And when you start to really see it, you know, you'll identify it yourself. You'll identify it. And then the game will get stronger for you. A lot of times we do things that's not a part of our game. And it goes against us. It declines us. And when you do things that's a part of you, it doesn't matter what society says or anybody, your friends or family, because we all know sometimes the biggest haters can be your family. It could be speaking truth. They could be speaking lies. But either way, that's their view on and their perception. But always avoid the projection. You know, that's their energy. They're trying to surge on to you. But it's all right to listen because you got ears to listen. But that don't mean you have to take that in and take it personal.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of times people, everybody's sitting. So yeah, I think a lot of people do take when other people speak their truth or they speak their truth, they do take it personal. And it's not even, sometimes it's not even, you got to have, like Yahoo said, you got to have what? Emotional intelligence.
I'm half and half with that.
Go ahead.
I'm still trying to adjust with that emotional intelligence thing because I think that's like a woman's way of trying to lower our guard as men. There is no such thing as emotional intelligence with us. It's just we're intelligent and we just move how we move. Emotional is for them. We don't need to worry about that. We already got IQ. There's no emotional thinking when you're on the court doing the perimeter passes and you're cutting through the lane and you're Euro stepping. You ain't emotionally thinking. You just moving because that's the rhythm of the game. There's no emotion. You're just doing it.
Right.
So I'm really against that emotional. I really feel like that's, you know me, LV, I guess to get started, but I know you jerk chicken fried that. You know, we on them time constraints and things, but it's all part of just being being genuine with yourself. You see how I felt about that, and I was about to go on a tangent. That's how I feel. No matter how many people in the class feel against that, it's all good.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Right.
And that's just, I mean, and it's not even a feeling. That's just what I know. So either we attest to it or contest it. It doesn't matter.
This is something that I've learned. And shout out to John the W for the super chat inside of Salute to LBA People Classes from the clouds. Let me say something that's really, I found that I do with my sons and I do with other people. When I communicate, I always say to men, what do you think? What are you thinking? And I always say to women, what are you feeling? And when I do that, it forces them, the man into his thinking mode, then it forces the woman into her feeling mode so that they can express properly of what's going on. I do it all the time. I do it especially with my son. I say, so what do you think about it? I never ask how I'm not saying that his feelings doesn't matter. I just say, what do you think about that? So when in his thinkings, he's expressing what he feels. So when I ask a woman, what do you feel about that? When she begins to express what she feels, she's thinking through her feelings. So it's amazing when even that, speaking that truth can be, people like, oh, you're being gender specific and you're biased. Nah, bruh.
Nah, it's just the little intricacies about the game. It's even communication. Just small little things that you could throw out there that we overlook. And just that small amount could just change the whole tide of things. It's what I'm realizing is how you speak. Because I could say things in a harsh manner. Like, I know we always use the example of saying, like, shout out to Myron. He'll say something like, the sky is blue, or something like, the sky is effing blue, but it doesn't change the fact that the sky is blue.
Right.
If I say, go over there, can you go make those Eggos? Or say, please make the Eggos, or can you make the Eggos? It's the tone of how you're using it. And I'm really realizing, I'm checking myself day by day, how to get better, but being genuine with what I'm saying, but being quick and observant on how somebody else may take it, but I'm still being genuine to myself.
Right.
So the message still gets across, but sometimes things don't have to go as far as being a pragmatic, being aggressive, going in different directions. It could just be a simple expression, and as long as you got it off your chest, because if you don't want to be regretting it years later. Like, I could have made that move. I should have said that, like you said earlier, and then you'll be regretting it. Like, something light too.
Dude, man.
And it could have changed your money. It could have changed relationship. It could have changed the whole outlook of how anybody looked at you, because people are, let's face it, they are your blessings or your curse. So however you speak to them is gonna reflect on you.
Right. It's true, man. I can't tell you how many times I've shrunk back from not telling my truth or just sharing what I thought and have regrets later. I can't say who the individual is, but I'll say this. So it was a time where I seen an individual that I knew or knew of, and Lightweight knew, and I didn't tell him what I should have told him. And he ended up getting jammed up and things didn't work out for him. And I thought, what if I just would have spoke up and not looked at his face or thought about his status and say, hey, man, let me talk to you, bro. A, B, C, D, D. What would have happened if I would have just spoke my truth? You know what I mean? And I think about that, how important it is to be conscious when to tell your truth and when to do it and when not to. But I thought in that particular situation, man, I wish I had said something to him. He wouldn't have got jammed up. But him getting jammed up, guess what happened? He began to shift as a person, and he's not the same person he used to be.
He needed that.
Yeah. He got jammed up pretty good for a couple years.
So you wasn't his safety net, because that could have been his safety net that he probably always rely on you as. So he had to fall face first, and that was you being genuine too.
Yeah, because I was like, man, I could have said something to a homeboy, blah, blah, blah. But I realized, full circle, he's better now than what he was prior to that conversation. He's on a better trajectory.
Now, with you saying that, and when it goes back to that emotional IQ, I can't replace that with saying genuine IQ.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being genuine and knowing how to operate in that, when to use it, like you said, when not to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, always be genuine, but knowing when to operate it, like you said. So there's an IQ to that,
Mm-hmm.
but emotional, nah.
Yeah. I'm in a, so a lot of people don't know, I'm studying, just gradually going there. Shout out to BGS and Dr. Hassan Johnson. I've been listening to their channels, got some good information. I'm studying the Monahan report. I think every man should study the Monahan report to understand poverty, but to understand the attack that has been propagated against men. That's why I'm talking about speak your truth, but don't be emotional, and also understand and overstand how the goal is to keep men mute. If we can keep men mute from not saying what they need to say or taking stance, because we have been marginalized, and we thought that the women were really marginalized. And it's not. The real money has been going to women, but it has been neglecting to the men. So when you begin to speak truth like that, the YouTube rhythms and other rhythms and all like that don't like that. But I understand, if I can help one man become a better man, I've done my job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's all about just you being genuine to yourself in that regard and being true, and you're going to attract the people that need to hear it.
Yep. Yep.
But you're not new to this. You know, hit with the old school phrase. You ain't new to this. You're true to this, man.
And what my grandfather say, don't get mad, just leave.
Just leave.
Just leave. So
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Oh, can I add?
Yes, sir.
I could probably put in the back that I don't know if you can say it online, whatnot, but it was just something to add to the another lineup.
Okay.
Because there's another name that we always use up in the thinking class. So
okay.
You know, something to do with the fault. All right, cool. All right, bet.
Man, I appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much. You want to come up?
Man, always a pleasure.
Thank you, man. You've been a blessing since day one. I want to make sure I give you your flowers now, because people don't do that a lot. Shout out to everybody in the Think Club, but shout out to you, Kingdom. You've been a blessing from day one. We've seen you go through transformations openly and honestly that most men were afraid to do. And by you doing that, you help so many other people. So let me give you your flowers today, Kingdom. Shout out to you, brother, for everything. Your being a father to your son. You stepping out, even when we were talking about. I remember that with doing something for your
Mother's Day,
for the mother of your children. Just the whole process with your grandfather, the whole process with everything that you're going through. You've been very transparent and open. So let me, LDA, personally give you your flowers today on the show. Man, I appreciate every brother, but I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. No, thank you, man. Thank you so much, LDA, because you provide this information and you provide this platform, just this room for us to just go ahead and just chop it up and chop this game. And you've been a great teacher since day one. And that's why I come every day, man. Every day, you know, I contribute, you know, others contribute. You know, we love this class. We love the foundation. And we just want this thing to go further and attract more people, you know, because I know that's all in your heart, what you want to do. You want to bring people to their right place in life. So shout out to you. And thank you for helping me grow.
Man, dude, I just want to make sure and to all the men and women who listen, there's a lot of people listen to the clouds and everything like that. But I want to make sure we personally give you your flowers. I promise you, we need to see more content creators and more people, especially men, give other men their flowers now and not when it's too late.
I feel that love, man. I appreciate that. And appreciate that. And you're right. We definitely do.
Yeah. So I want to
shout out to you.
I want to be the first to say I appreciate you, and shout out, and even from Jono. Same thing.
We miss him, man.
Yeah, he's in the back. We were 3 o'clock. We were 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We were going back and forth talk. So we were going back and forth.
Man, it'd be nice.
Yeah,
if he could bless the class again. You know?
He'll be back. But yeah, I want to make sure you know personally, we appreciate you like we appreciate everybody that's listening, all the brothers, all the women too, because I know there's a lot of divisiveness or diversion between the men and women on spaces. We understand unapologetically this is a man's channel. It has not changed. I have to say that. Unapologetically, this is a man's channel. Right? Always been.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And one more thing I want to add, LDA, for the people that talk to you, make sure they always come back and give a progress report too.
Good one.
Always give that progress report because you helped me grow. I know you've helped so many others in the class grow. I know you did.
Yeah.
It's just nice to hear their stories as well too.
Yeah. So we one thing we are looking for, everybody that's listening, if any way that the Deacon class, John or myself or anyone else, we want to hear your testimonials. If you do audio, preferably if you were to type it out or send an email or whatever the case may be, or let me know of any way you listen to this one day, how the Thinking class has helped you. We want to hear your testimonials. We need to hear your testimonials. People don't believe what I say until they hear what you say. That's just real facts.
That's real right.
Yeah,
that's real right.
Yeah. So
I'll send you an email.
Yeah, send me an email. Just express how the Thinking class has helped you. We're looking for all the individuals who have done that. The Thinking class has helped you in any kind of way, with small, large, or whatever the case may be. You may listen to one time. Let us know how it helped you, because at the end of the day, people are looking for receipts and results. I don't care how people put it. Receipts and results, and everybody in here, and I am personally, I'm a receipt, and everyone else is a receipt, and we need results. So with that being said, man, I appreciate you coming up. I got a taste for that jerk chicken, man.
Hey, I'm on my way to some Chinese right now. That's rated 4.8. So I'm right with you.
Oh boy. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming up. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, LD. I appreciate you too. Have a good weekend, man.
Shout out to everybody. This is Lawrence D. Adams. Great show today. Next week we're tapping to it, but you want to definitely, and the t-shirt. Let me say shout out. John Devin say all love, brother. Fierce soul. T-shirt. Don't get mad. Just leave. Trust me. This is authentically other shirt. You see anybody try to copy it, even the saying, you know I got it from my grandfather, Jonas McCall. So shout out to everybody. This being said, you know what time it is. LDA. We got it. Whoa. We gotta play that again. Whoa. I'll get that ready. Wait a minute. Let me try it again. Wait a minute. We gotta get out of here. Where that outro at? Yeah. I'm get ready for this. It's time to get out of here. This is Lawrence D. Adams. Just play that one more time. Wait. We out of here. Lawrence D. Adams, where spirituality and the game combines. You got the Thinking class. He's out of here. Peace and beer grease. Peace.
Look at what you got, man. Don't forget it. Tell me what you want, babe, and you'll get it. Look at what you got, man. Don't forget it, 'cause I can give you what you need. I'll be your fantasy. I got you. Tell me what you want, babe, then come get it. Tell me what you